are you two doing today? Because I have been thinking about this episode for the entire week. I'm very worried. Not that you guys are gonna die, because
we've already done that.
Yeah, we've already done that. We can't do that again. No, exactly. Now you have Now you have dumbass armor because I can't kill you twice. No, I definitely can. But I am a little. This is a different episode, different adventure. This is like I said, a morphed Delta Green adventure. That's why it was so A, fucked up, but B, kind of deadly. But I made it like a lot less deadly so far. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I don't know.
I thought that we did pretty good. I thought we were doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't die.
Yeah.
So.
I was a little worried about the fear, but luckily it hit before combat. And then of all the times to roll low, I finally nailed it.
And you also, so it was interesting because Sydney, you were rolling rocks, before, like three.
For
I
nothing.
Think it was like three.
For nothing.
Yeah. No, but like those things are great because I always get excited when people roll well on these investigation rolls, because then I can share more trivia and fun things that otherwise would have never been mentioned and forgotten and never talked about. But then Mary Smythe started killing it in the cave.
That's right, baby. I've got it when it counts.
Exactly.
Sorry, she's already in there. Can't keep her back.
Can't keep her back. Which you were asking me. You're like, is it too much? And I'm like, fuck no. It's perfect. I love these two characters. It feels like we're back.
It feels like the gang is back together.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
I think, and we all do this for fun, but also performatively. And once you start, not to be like, let's talk about something serious, but once you start putting it out there, you've got the audience in the room and then your imagined audience that might be listening. And then you have like all your worst fears in your head about how you suck at things in your head. So it's really interesting to record a show like this and to tell a story in this way, because there are so many different levels of the voices in your head. And so I think it's the best thing about sitting down to play with you guys is that for us, like, we're definitely here for fun, as well as the rest of it, but it's like a fun place where we can make each other laugh. And I think you can always, not to speak for everybody else, but you can always count on us to do what makes us laugh and what we think is funny, because that's the only baseline we ever have, right? Like, if we try to please everyone or like please the naysayers in our own minds, like, we'll never end up doing anything good. So
I must say I'm not a huge fan of GMing in general, because I think it's too much prep, and I, like you said, I feel like an imposter. Like, I think I am not like naturally as gifted in it as I am as I am in other things. I don't know. I don't have any gifts, but I think it's hard. It's hard for me to GM. It doesn't come naturally for me. But this is still one of my favorite games that I'm currently playing in, and it's not because of the game, and it's not because of me being a GM. It's because of you two, and I mean that.
Aww.
I mean that.
Well, I'm glad we could share this moment before we royally fuck up whatever you're trying to get us to do.
No, but I think I'm trying to play also a little bit more by the rules of the game, and like trying to like explore new things that we didn't explore in the first season, when I felt like very railroady about my story I wanted to tell. But now I'm like, okay, cool. Like, we'll see what happens now. And I also wanted to remind you too that you can always, in most freely games, you can always like initiate a scene with the GM that has nothing to do with like the current storyline. Like, if you wanted to do like hey, I want to do a flashback right now, you can always be like, all right, this is what's going on in Vanessa's head, and then you can explain a little bit of like the setup, and then you and I, Sydney, we can have a scene. That obviously goes for you too, Anne. Like, if you wanted to,
except for you, Anne. Fuck you.
Exactly. It says specifically in the rule book that no Annes No Anns can do this.
No flashbacks from me.
I was going to say, though, I think similar to Anne, I think one of the greatest things about us playing together is that we are like that anyway to each other as players and as a GM, where it's like, yes, and, you know, like, tell me what you want, and then we'll see if we can do it in game. And then we call each other on the bullshit, too, where you're like, you can't do that because there's no dice roll for it, and, like, you're not allowed to, and that's the end of that. And we're like, okay,
but
and I love you and I trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that we need to remember while we're going over cool rules that we should take advantage of is when we fail, we can push a roll in return for taking a mental or physical thing.
Yeah, we never push rolls.
We never do. Not in one entire campaign did we push one roll, and we had some important rolls.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're gonna maybe I'll feel like we've been playing on hard mode. This is like Elden Ring, Vaesen. There's no rerolls.
No, me and Elden Ring is when I get nervous and I accidentally drop my weapon, and then I just end up punching with my fists because I like have rotated through, and I'm like I'll just keep fighting.
I don't do that, but like I did beat a big ass boss today, but I didn't realize that I had my wrong potions on.
No.
So I was drinking like the wrong. I'm like, I can't heal.
Ugh.
Okay, the two people who are still playing Elden Ring while listening to this podcast are gonna appreciate this.
Do you want to hear about how to push a roll?
Oh yes,
this can be found on page 39 in the core rulebook for Vaesen. Having failed a test. Oh, should I do it as Mary?
No.
Oh my god.
Having failed a test. No,
Ellie just goes,
no one will
no.
ever know what I'm saying. Okay. No. Having failed a test, you can choose to muster your strength and give it one more try. This can only be done once per action and must happen immediately after failing a test. This is called pushing a roll. When you push your roll, you suffer a condition. If you're using a physique or precision skill, if you are using physique or precision, you can choose a physical condition to suffer. If you are using logic or empathy, you can choose a mental one. You may then re-roll every die except the 6s if you rolled any, and you can push rolls that have already succeeded as well. It's something you need to know, since there are situations where multiple successes make you succeed particularly well. Let's see. This is also important, a section called Broken to Succeed. Broken, by the way, is when you can no longer take actions because you've taken all 4 of either the physical or mental conditions. When pushing a roll, you get to re-roll all dice except the 6s. The condition you acquire as a result does not come into effect until after the roll. So it is therefore possible to become broken from pushing a roll.
Oh, that's
important to remember.
Really good.
I was gonna say there's no trade-off. It's not bad. That's bad.
That's bad. And the two of you are very familiar with the broken condition as it killed both of you just a couple weeks ago. You remember?
Conditions don't kill people. Vaesen kill people.
Or dumb decisions. Actually, I feel bad about that whole...
I've heard it both ways.
I feel bad about that whole adventure, actually. I feel like... I don't know if it was even a finished adventure. Anyway, doesn't matter now. It's out there. It's done.
It's dead to us. Ooh, too soon.
Dead to us. I must say, though, like, having this adventure being, like, somewhat of a homebrew, but also, like, not written by me, but still sort of... I've modified it a lot. It's a lot more fun. I haven't really figured out how to tell other super well-written adventures yet. That's going to be the next adventure, so we'll see how that goes. So last where we left off, you guys were heading back into the village, and I want you to imagine then you're back at the inn, O'Rourke's inn, because that's where you had your rooms. O'Rourke, however, she's in captivity with the Sergeant Pearson, having several guards outside her cell. And you are currently in Mary von Meiken's room. She's lying on her bed, still resting. Rutger is watching over her, and the two of you are in the same room. Vlada is standing in the corner, watching you kiss her. Well, what do you want to do?
Well, what shall we do for her? I'm not much for medical knowledge, sister. Not Vlada. Vlada looks great.
Thank you.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Oh, sorry. I don't... And you find out that she understood you all along.
The whole time?
The whole time.
I think Vanessa comes in the room and kind of like says to Professor Rutger, like, how is she doing?
I don't understand. She's not responding to anything. She seems to... I honestly believe we need to either look into that foul diary of hers or speak to that awful woman and see if they know what they did to her so we can reverse it. She should be awake by now. All of her vitals are good, but I've sent for the surgeon. Perhaps she would be able to tell me what's wrong.
Before you do any surgery, Professor, I think we will need to do more research. There was some sort of ceremony happening, and I believe I broke it when I touched Mary with the holy water, causing her burns, which I do hope heal. But she could be caught, still in the ceremony in a way. If we don't stop it, or like you said, reverse, we might lose her, and I do not want that to happen.
Perhaps we should get some rest. And tomorrow is a new day. I will be by her side tonight and watch over her. And I will wake you up should there be any changes.
Mary, I think we should take her journal, yes, and perhaps we make a visit to O'Rourke. And she looks at Vlada too.
I believe that would be an excellent plan for the morning. I do not feel well. And you just see, because she has suffered 2 conditions herself. She's like halfway to the grave. So she needs a little rest and attention. How does one get rid of
hold on.
Ellie, do you remember?
Vanessa looks at Mary, and she pulls her aside. I think they said this as they were like leaving the room. And Vanessa, I think, takes her hand, and she says, Mary, what you had told me before about your feeling on the gift. If you have anything that you would like to confess, know that you can do it with me, and I will be able to help you.
It is a grave thing that you ask of me. But if indeed it will lead from pride, perhaps, to obligation, and then to true joy in providing the service that we do, then perhaps now is the time. Come, we shall have tea. And she takes you along to her room, and begins to, or she goes. I guess we go down to the kitchen to get tea and whatnot. And she
don't worry about it.
Begins.
Vlada understood.
Vlada's on it.
Tea.
Great. So after the tea arrives and they're both kind of like cleaned up, she invites Vanessa to the room, and she begins pouring the tea. Well, what was that voice? Who's that? Sorry.
Who's in the room?
I was like, well, welcome to my room. This is who I've been this whole time. Sorry.
And that's your confession. Thank you so much. Good night.
Yeah, and that's, yeah, thank you. You heal all your conditions. Yeah, so she says, When I was young, my father owned a small theater. Oh shit, hold on. Let me get my backstory up here, just like in case I fuck it up.
Off the cuff and being like, whatever I say is canon now. Here I go.
Yeah. Ooh, here we go.
Wow,
That's how I feel every time.
Episode.
Oh,
yeah.
Every time I open my mouth, I'm like,
All right.
oh no, oh no, oh no, it's coming out. Oh no.
Well, Sydney, you know what happened to me on androids when that happened. Like that one time when I started improvising.
You mean your uncle? You mean Uncle Phil?
Yep.
Oh.
Amazing.
God, that was
All right.
so fucking funny.
So, good times. So, you see, I grew up in a small village, not so far from Stratford-upon-Avon. My father, well, he had made a life in the theatre, and he had a very small one there. Some people say that all theatres are haunted, but ours, I can say for certain, was. I would see things, even as a girl, flitting about in the shadows. A sort of dance, if you will. Figures in costumes that didn't make sense for the production. Shadows in the balcony watching us. Superstition is a part of the theatre, of course. But I always wanted to take the stage. And my father never thought that I was ready. I was never to be a leading lady, simply backstage, helping my mother with costumes or cleaning up the wigs, helping the ladies get dressed. But I begged him, when the production of Macbeth was to take the stage, I begged him that I be allowed to audition. Perhaps a witch, perhaps the grace of Lady M herself. And then I would truly be seen, truly be accepted for the talent I knew I was. But I had to prepare. And I kept fumbling the words, I kept making mistakes, until I saw a man standing just at the back of the theater. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts. Unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the top toe full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood and stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose. I felt those words as I spoke them. And I was made a promise by that fell visage in the audience that night. If I was only to give up the soul of my work for a short time, well, I might have my greatest wish. And I did. But very soon after, I found myself in the street, suddenly coming to my senses as the theater burned. No one left behind but me. And you are the only recipient of this dread monologue, Vanessa.
And I think Vanessa stoically, solemnly holds your hand, nods her head, touches your cheek, and you heal 3 conditions as you receive absolution.
That's a lot of condish.
I know. And you receive absolution for confessing to Vanessa, who suddenly looks very tired. And she kind of pats your hand again. And she says, I will see you in the morning, Mary. Thank you for trusting in me as I trust in you. Good night. She leaves your room.
She stares out into the darkness, feeling refreshed, and she begins to wave and thank her audience just in her mind as she hears waves of applause roll over her.
It's a new day. The two of you slept really well, considering the circumstances, but you wake up, and for a moment you forget where you are, and the dread, and then you remember Mary, fighting for her life, as far as you know. What do you do?
I would like to take some time with the book in the morning.
All right, so it's a new day, so according to my rules, you can do that.
Is it only
Excellent.
one of us?
All right.
Or is it both of us can, like, attempt?
Both of you can attempt, and if both of you succeed, I'll give both of you each a clue.
Ooh.
And it's learning?
All right, well, I'm going to take the learning way.
It's learning, or if you have like a special ability that would make sense for you to, like, investigation, or if you have like, well, if I use my butthole, then I get inspiration and whatever.
I get +2 advantage for my pre-study from coming here. And then, let's see, and 4 more dice for logic. So all together, I shall be rolling 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dice. Let's just hope.
Jesus.
Do you guys remember
Listen,
when I rolled?
no one researches better on a quicker timeline than an actor with an audition in the morning, okay? I think we all know that.
Do you guys remember when I rolled really well in the episode, in the last episode? I just rolled, and I kid you not, 3 1s in a row, and then a bunch of 2s. Whew. So that was I'm not doing good. I'm tired this morning.
Oh yeah, you're tired from the listening to the confession.
The confession, man.
It was exhausting. People are exhausted. And no one more so than Mary Smile.
Yeah. Vanessa is like, not another Macbeth monologue, am I right?
God. So I have received 4 successes this day.
Okay.
Tell me the whole story.
Yeah, so...
Goddamn.
Every secret.
Now it's my time for a monologue. Alright, here's clue number 2. You definitely know that this is a demon, based on the books that is written by several people. Throughout, for a long time, it seems like. The first notes looks like they're so old that the paper is starting to crumble apart. But then there are a couple of recent notes as well. There are several images of people tattooing their bodies with the same eye that you've seen before. And after further study, you realize that this seemed to make you immune to whatever this demon is. It's a protection against this demon, because this demon will possess a host one at a time. However, if the person already is possessed, doing this ritual seems to be incredibly dangerous. You see a note that says, I can see her from the corner of my eye, but every time I turn, she is not there. She follows me, but I can never reach her. This woman in white, her eyes blacker than death. And then it's like covered in more nonsense, more beauties in the eyes of the beholder.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wait, but the tattoos are protection.
Indeed.
One would think this book might be protected with the amount of eyes it has upon it.
Maybe. Do you want to hear your third clue?
I do, please.
Well. Yeah. As you're flipping through the pages, you're noticing that, wait a second, there's a whole page here that I didn't see before. And then it falls out, and you're noticing that this is a very recent note from Mary herself. O'Rourke seemed to know what she's talking about, but I must confess, she makes me uncomfortable. She claims that she's protected, and that she has protected this town for decades, but from what exactly? And then there's all this smudging of the notes, and so you can't really make out the rest, but then, a couple of days later, on a different date, it says, O'Rourke is mad. She killed them all. She's saying that she's protecting the town, but now she claims I'm possessed too. What if she's right? I've had these awful dreams lately, and the research I've made suggests that doing these rituals on myself would be highly dangerous, but I'm running out of options. Rutger, if you see this, please help me. And you realize that this letter was never sent.
Well, sister, do you fancy a new tattoo?
Are you joking?
Well, the eyes have it, as they say. Ha ha! Sorry. It seems... Sorry, I use humor as a defense mechanism. The eyes seem to be protection from this demon. At least, unless they truly are the window to the soul instead of a gate, perhaps they are the very thing that provides passage. Oh.
Something does not make sense, though. O'Rourke. If O'Rourke was originally protecting other women, why the change? Is O'Rourke the one who is possessed, trying to put blame on others, saying it is an act of protection, while killing them to feed the demon inside her? And why has Mary not woken up yet if she is so well protected with her eyes tattoo? I do not have these answers. I am simply asking the air, but perhaps if we try to talk to O'Rourke, we could get some answer out of her. But I do not trust her, and I trust the words of Mary in the book, but...
What might we say to her to set her off? A sort of Banquo invited to her prison cell moment thing. What might we be able to say that would reveal the sordid truth?
Mary reacted so strongly to the holy water as I thought she might. Perhaps O'Rourke would too, and perhaps a threat of using it against her would bring out the demon. But if I am wrong, we go down a wrong path with that, and perhaps we get no answer if she does not trust us. What do you think?
What power does holy water have? It seems to have been revelatory for Miss Mary upstairs. Perhaps she truly was possessed if she reacted in the way that she did.
That is my thought. But if the demon is traveling between people, it could be in O'Rourke. But perhaps we save that card for later, no? If you think questioning could bring out an answer, let us question.
Perhaps we let her try to rope us into her madness to see how deep that well truly is. If we make it seem like it is safe for her to tell us what she is truly about, then we may learn more with honey than with vinegar, as a less famous playwright may have once said.
Yes, that is how we would catch the flies in the convent. Only honey, never vinegar.
I do hate flies. They are so very tedious.
Let's go. I'm sure Sergeant Pearson would be happy to see you, no? Okay, we're walking. Clip, clop, clip, clop.
God, I love Vanessa so much.
She's amazing. Okay, we're walking. Vlada insists that she'll come with you, so
of course we invite Vlada. Of course we invite Vlada.
Yeah. Vlada goes 2 meters behind you, looking gruff and big.
All right. I'm going to apply makeup. I'm going to make myself ready for these manipulation checks, baby.
Yeah.
I put on a cool outfit.
Let's jump to the police station. The person is not in control of the situation whatsoever. He barely acknowledges you there. He's just staring right in front of him, sweating, not knowing what to do. Yes, she's in there. Bodies and this is the worst thing that has ever happened to him, which makes sense. It's, potentially like 10 or 11 young people who died, and there also might be witches that have done some weird demonic ritual, as far as he knows, because he doesn't really understand or believe in any of it. But you are now facing O'Rourke in her cell privately.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I trust you have refreshed yourself.
Refreshed myself? What do you mean, refresh myself in the cell? You think I can refresh myself right here?
O'Rourke, how are you doing? I'm sorry for last night. Are you okay?
You don't understand. That's your problem. I am protecting this town from its evil demon. And by keeping me in here, she's going to escape. She's going to escape if she hasn't already.
I think you'll find that we are more than amenable to helping. But darling, you must help us to understand what it is that your one-woman coven is trying to prevent.
I'm trying to prevent the demon from escaping, you see. I was controlling her. It's in the eyes. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And so you need to cut them out to control her. Otherwise she will escape. And then she moves up to the bars and looks right into your eyes, as if she's looking for something. Look at me, let me take a look.
So she is backing up. And she says, now, let us not get handsy before it is time. She says, trying to take on the guise of a witch. And she she sort of she puts some distance between the two of them, and she wants to try and manipulate her into revealing more. And she says, yes, the eyes do seem to have a sort of power. Now, Mary seemed, before you had come in, to think that the eyes were protection.
Yes, human eyes contain her, prevents her from fleeing, you see. See, that's what I've been doing. I've been preventing her from escaping. And then she turns toward Vanessa. Vanessa, look at me. Come here.
O'Rourke, you took the eyes of the women from the village. This town is missing people, and their bones are in the cave where we found you.
I did not kill all of them, but I did what I had to do to prevent more death. You might think that I'm mad. Perhaps I am. But she's always in there. She's always in there. She never lets me go. I think she needs me as much as I need her, but is she there? Can I take a look? Please come closer, Vanessa.
No, O'Rourke. I do not think that I will. My eyes do not contain whatever sickness yours do. I am sorry. All I want to do is to help you. This demon, O'Rourke, she travels, no?
She infects others, but you can burn. If you contain her, you can burn her. Yes, that's what you can do. Burn the girl. Burn the girl. Burn the girl. Burn the girl. And she starts banging herself.
Vanessa takes some holy water into her hand and tosses it in O'Rourke's direction just to see what would happen.
More. Burn her. Burn her.
Well, okay. I think we've gotten just about as far as we're going to get with this scene.
All right. Moving back to the inn.
That's what we call a button in the business.
That's what we call and see.
And Vanessa stands there as Mary does this and then just goes, okay, and then turns to leave and looks back at O'Rourke and just says, I'm sorry, O'Rourke. I will try to help you. And she leaves.
Do you guys want to go back to the inn?
Yeah, she says, I think we need to assess Mary and perhaps to see if that holy water still has the effect it did last night. I think we may just simply be dealing with a woman driven mad by her connection to the site. We have seen it many times, after all.
I'm going to test a small patch on Mary and just dip like a finger in the holy water and just like lightly touch her to see if it sizzles her skin.
It does. But she does not wake up from it this time. But she seems to stir a little bit as if it hurts her.
Damn it. Okay. Well, there's a demon.
Well, guys, we're fucked. We got demons.
Rutger is standing is watching you do the thing with the holy water, and it's like, oh, is that, you think she's possessed? I've been up all night. She hasn't stirred since last night, as far as I know, but I've been reading up on. And he takes out his book, a little notebook, and he's flipping through the pages, and he's like, I've been trying to find if there are any Vaesen or specifically demons that can explain this, but the only thing I can find is about the Faroe Islands is that there used to be these witches here that performed rituals. Maybe they awoke something that then escaped.
The old ways remain in small factions and systems of belief. Some people even say the energy is inherited by the earth itself, where these practices have been performed. And never have I ever seen something so foul as what we saw in that cave beyond the hill. We must restore these lands if we are ever to be free of this cursed demon.
O'Rourke, she mentioned the eyes. Do you think there could be any way for us to see if there's something in her eyes?
We could attempt to peer beyond the veil, but
I would be very, very careful, Mary. If O'Rourke wanted to see so badly into our eyes, and if whatever it is she's searching for is inside Mary, we must tread lightly.
Well, I think she mentioned cleansing by fire, and she sort of shudders as she says those words. Is there perhaps something to the idea of removing the cancer from the patient and destroying what is within.
But that is what O'Rourke was doing, no? Taking the eyes of people, saying that she was helping. I don't know if she actually was. Perhaps she is just...
But she kept the eyes.
She
did not put them to rest.
Perhaps you are right.
You mentioned eyes. She kept the eyes. Removing the eyes, and Rutger starts thinking about it, and then he starts flipping through his notes again, and he goes towards his suitcase to see if he, like, for some reason bringing all these books with him and tries to flip through them as well. And you can join him and roll a learning to see if you can find anything.
Heck yeah. 1.
2 successes.
Nice.
In one of the books, eventually you find that there seemed to be something similar to a demon that is doing what this demon seemed to be doing. Beauty. It's called beauty. And the only thing that it's contained within the eye, and the only way to banish this Vaesen is through either burning the body or burning the eye. If the eye is contaminated.
Is there a point at which it, like, takes over the body from the eye and we don't know if she's too far, or is it just we remove the eyes and see what happens?
It seems like it seems to be contained within the eye, and the way to control it and contain it is by staking eyes upon a stick and pointing it towards the host. So that's what O'Rourke has been doing. But for some reason, O'Rourke has been driven mad by it.
I wonder why. Carving out people's eyes and shoving them on a stake seems fine to me, and I could do that forever, every day, for the rest of my life.
That seems like a fun Christmas morning.
Ho hum. Well, that's terrible. I guess we should try that then.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like the best worst case scenario.
Yeah, she kind of, like, listens to it and she says, "We must firm our mental fortresses up before attempting such a thing, or we could end up just like O'Rourke."
Are you performing this yourselves, or do you want to call upon someone else to do it?
Well, didn't Rutger said the surgeon was coming? I think maybe we should have the surgeon do the surgery part, and maybe we add, like, protection or kind of heed the surgeon to be like, don't fucking look at the eye. Do your best, but don't look in the eyes.
Look away and just do your best.
Your area where you're cutting. You're going in blind.
We put sunglasses on the surgeon, and we're like, you look great. You should keep those on for the whole surgery.
Yep. Surgeon Yudhus is in town.
Well, must it be a stake, or may we simply remove the eyes and place them upon a stake afterwards?
You can burn the eye, you can remove it, or you can control without having to kill anyone. You can stake other eyes and make sure, because the demon is afraid of the observation of a human.
Well, I think we should absolutely have a surgeon do that, because I've only ever played one on the stage, and I do not intend to bloody myself in a horrible, horrible accident. That is not in my rider.
And perhaps I could bless the surgical instruments with my holy water to boon the surgeon on their, well, hopefully they don't look at the eyes. I don't know how I am going to explain to the surgeon not to look at the eyes.
Perhaps we might describe it as a bit of soft focus. You see, in the theatre we often speak of a sort of meditation that we may enter in order to center ourselves, where we do not look directly at something, but really look through, beyond the veil. Let
us call the surgeon. No?
Yeah. The surgeon arrives a couple of hours later. Do you guys want to either look into, like, medically examine Mary and her eyes at all, or do you just want the surgeon to perform?
I think we need to look before the surgeon comes, because if it's, like, clearly fucked, then we need a way to tell the surgeon. Like, if we open her eyes and they're, like, voids,
like,
you know?
So,
like,
don't look directly at it, but it is super fucked in there.
Something crazy happened, and you don't want to look at it.
Oh, well, Rutger can say that.
Rutger,
he'll do it.
go ahead.
Unless you guys insist.
No. By all means, look into your horrible, horrible friend's eyes.
Yeah,
Tell us what you see, and Vanessa puts her hand over her eyes. Tell us what you see. I'll be over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll one medical. All right, he succeeded, which means that you can see in the corner of her eye, if you would be watching, that there's something swimming in there, like a parasite.
Oh.
But otherwise, the eyes look human and normal, not void.
So we know it's just like one eye that's affected by this?
Yeah.
All right, well, now we know where to direct it.
Yep, and we can even say it's like a parasite or something, you know, to cut out the eye, because there's something in the eye itself. So that's explainable.
All right. I shall try to use my I shall try to convince the man of this very simple procedure, and then we shall dismiss him after a job well done and burn the eye in the yard.
Perfect.
Like normal people do.
The surgeon arrives. It's a slender, small woman. And she looks tired, worried, because she, like the rest of the town, it's been a couple of awful, awful months of people missing, and everyone could really use a break. But she arrives, and you explain to her the situation. She takes out a couple of instruments. Please, this is going to be painful for your friend. Could you hold her down?
Yes, and I shall try to keep her still.
She won't be able to get her sight back. You understand that, right? On her right eye.
The cancer must be removed in order to save the whole.
She takes out a very sharp knife, small, scalpel-like, but I'm thinking maybe scalpels weren't a thing yet. Maybe. Burns the edges of it slightly to disinfect it, because I read somewhere that was actually a thing already then. Maybe not.
I think it's probably a thing by now.
I think they knew to sterilize stuff by burning it, yeah.
And as this begins to happen, she begins softly singing in this woman's ear to try and comfort her. Oh, the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme goes around the bloomin' heather.
Last chance. May God be with us all.
And Vanessa sprinkles the holy water, like, over I think on the instruments and, like, kind of around the room. And she's also, like, praying, and she says, Abuka muna in fok pentru cineva, abuka muna in fok pentru cineva, and she's, like, you know, doing her own ritual.
Okay.
Should we roll something?
I'm rolling.
roll
I'm
something?
rolling as a surgeon. A medical.
Can we give her
Absolutely.
bonuses with what we're doing?
What bonuses? Like,
so for instance, can I roll let's say an inspiration in order to get her an extra success, or like an extra die to roll?
Is that how inspiration works for you?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
You're in charge.
I thought you had, like, a
Looney
talent
Bin
or something specifically, like, to boost
No.
boo me.
Well, I do.
Right?
I do. I have my wooden pan flute, but I'm gonna make it my holy water because that's what she's using right now. I do have a +1 inspiration with my empathy, so I assume I could give that to you as an inspiration, not for empathy, but for medical.
All right, so
usage.
one more die.
And also, I was speaking a phrase in Romanian, and I think anyone listening who understood it would know that I probably did not that good, and they want me to feel inspired and feel better about myself.
I'm sure it was great. I'm sure it was great in Romanian, but I will give myself +2 for both of you trying to sing beautifully and speaking phenomenal, fluent Romanian.
And inspiration apparently can be used to counteract conditions, mental conditions.
Okay.
So I want to try to use a roll to remove any issues that she has. If something like happens horribly because she cuts into this woman with an anointed surgical instrument, then maybe she can resist whatever it is.
Cool. This is a hard roll. The surgeon successfully removes the eye. But as she does so, Mary is waking up, crying from the pain. But the eye is eventually removed from her body. What do I do with the eye? What do I do with the eye?
Give it to me or Mary. Mary, take the eye.
She doesn't know what to do, so she just opens up a teapot, dumps the tea on the ground, and puts the teapot out. She's in here!
And the surgeon quickly puts the eye in there.
Put it in the fire.
Oh, God! And throws the tea kettle with the eye in it onto the fireplace.
And it's like the whole room just gets the air sucked out of it. It's like this darkness just encapsulates the whole room. It's just like... and it's gone. And the only thing you can hear is the crying from Mary, who's in enormous pain as blood is just covering her entire face. But you did it.
Oh... brother. And of course Vanessa goes over to Mary and consoles her and takes one of Mary Smythe's scarves and, helps her like affix a sort of, I'm sure that's more Mary's thing. You could affix a fashionable, headpiece for her, but I think she, wipes the blood away and kind of cradles her, and Professor Rucker she calls Professor Rucker back in to like comfort her.
And Mary, watches the burning fire and then stands over original flavor Mary. And she says, "Well done, girl. If it wasn't for your diligent note-taking, there would have been no saving you. You are a credit to the society."
Had you failed, or rather, had I failed on the surgeon roll, Beauty, the demon, would have crept up in her eye, and you too would not have known. Until you left. And we would see the surgeon seeing you guys leave, and then turning around, and Beauty standing there. The demon.
But that's a tale for another group of idiots.
That's the alternative ending. You guys nailed it, and I got, thanks to your +2, I got 2 successes, which was the threshold.
What about O'Rourke?
O'Rourke is mad. That's her story. She can't be helped.
Okay.
You fucking nailed it.
Nice
baby.
job.
Well done, ladies.
It felt so good to
not die
and not make any bold assumptions.